Hi friends, today we're going to do a video about Veterans Day, which is coming up on November 11th in the United States. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Veterans Day is an annual national holiday in the United States. Veterans are people who served in the armed forces like the Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and the Marines. This special day honors the men and women who have served in the American military. Veterans Day events are held in communities across the country. Veterans Day is celebrated each year in the United States with parades and other memorial services. Americans show their appreciation for the men and women who risked their lives in service of their country. The United States has fought in several major wars. In World War I, America fought with Britain and other countries against Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Turkey from 1914 to 1918. In World War II, America joined forces with Britain and the Soviet Union against Germany, Italy, and Japan from 1939 to 1945. Between 1950 and 1953, the United States also fought in the Korean War. In 1964, American forces fought against North Vietnam in the Vietnam War. The United States also helped Kuwait fight Iraqi invaders in the Gulf War in 1991. Today, the United States is involved in fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. A veteran is someone who has served in the United States Armed Forces. People in the armed forces are called service people. There are almost 25 million veterans living in America today. Veterans are men and women who have served in the military during wartime as well as during times of peace. Veterans are men and women who have put themselves at risk to defend or fight for their country. Wars are very dangerous. Countries use bullets, bombs, and other deadly weapons to fight one another. As a result, many veterans are injured in battle, sometimes very badly. The first Veterans Day was on November 11, 1918, at the end of World War I. It was called Armistice Day. Many Americans died in World War I. Armistice Day became a yearly event in the United States. After World War II, Americans wanted a day to honor all veterans, not just those from World War I. In 1954, American President Dwight D. Eisenhower officially changed Armistice Day on November 11th to Veterans Day. In 1968, Congress moved Veterans Day from November 11th to the fourth Monday in October, but many people wanted to keep the November 11th date for Veterans Day, and in 1978, it was moved back to that date. Many veterans wear their military uniforms on Veterans Day. They also wear the different medals that they earn for serving their country. This helps people to know who veterans are at different events held on Veterans Day. It also shows how proud service people are of defending the United States. Homes and businesses often have American flags on display. The poppy flower is usually worn on Memorial Day, but many also wear it on Veterans Day. The poppy comes from the poem In Flanders Fields, which tells of poppies growing among soldiers' graves during World War II. Parades are a big part of Veterans Day. They are held in towns and cities across the country. Huge crowds of people attend, including children. There are many floats, ROTC groups, National Guard, bagpipes, and marching bands. Many veterans will also take part in parades. Military vehicles like jeeps and tanks sometimes take part in Veterans Day parades. Horses are also a common sight. At some parades, military planes fly by overhead. Special services are held at military tombs and monuments on Veterans Day. These events also attract large crowds of people who want to pay respect to service people. There are speeches and sometimes a gun salute. Many veterans attend dressed in their uniforms. On Veterans Day, there is a moment of silence when people pause to honor the veterans. At some Veterans Day services, the musical piece called Taps is played on a trumpet. The Tomb of the Unknowns is a military monument or gravestone. It is dedicated to American soldiers who gave their lives in battle. These soldiers were never identified. Every year on Veterans Day, the President of the United States lays a wreath on the Tomb of the Unknowns. The Tomb of the Unknowns has been guarded all day, every day, since 1937. A special team of soldiers takes turns marching in front of the memorial, using exactly 21 steps on each trip. This stands for the 21-gun salute, which is a very special honor given by the military. People often confuse Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Both are national holidays dedicated to military service people. The two holidays are different, however. Memorial Day honors those who lost their lives in battle, while Veterans Day honors everyone who has served in the military. Memorial Day used to be known as Decoration Day. It first began as a day to honor United States soldiers who fought in the American Civil War. For many years, it was held on May 30th. Memorial Day is now held every year on the last Monday of May. At 3 p.m. local time, people across the country pause for a national moment of remembrance. Many people visit military museums on Veterans Day. These buildings and statues are dedicated to the memory of brave American soldiers. There are many monuments across the United States. One is the Iron Mike statue in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, dedicated to paratroopers. Some monuments, like the National World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., are very large and elaborate. The memorial has 56 pillars, 2 arches, a plaza, and a large fountain. The Freedom Wall, also in Washington, D.C., has over 4,000 gold stars to honor the Americans who died in World War II. These monuments draw visitors to them all year long. Near the end of the American Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln pledged to help those injured in battle. He gave a speech promising to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan. Over 600,000 soldiers lost their lives in the war, and hundreds of thousands were injured. Lincoln wanted to honor the huge sacrifice the soldiers made. Lincoln's words are on plaques at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs in Washington, D.C. The Department of Veterans Affairs provides assistance to military veterans. It gives compensation to disabled veterans, helps with education and home loans, and provides for families of soldiers who gave their lives for their country. Created in 1930, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs was once called the Veterans Administration. There are also many private veteran organizations that offer support to American service people. There are many different veterans organizations. Some are just for military who were in certain battles, or who have served in certain branches of the military. There are some just for members of the Air Force, and some only for Marines. Many of these organizations work to improve the support veterans receive from the government. Many schools have special activities on Veterans Day. Some have Veteran Day assemblies with speeches and other performances in honor of American veterans. At many schools, students say the Pledge of Allegiance, play patriotic music, and observe a moment of silence. Many veterans are willing to come into classrooms and to speak to students. This is a wonderful way for students to learn firsthand about veterans and the amazing sacrifices they make in service of their country. There are many ways for you to honor American veterans. You could volunteer at a Veterans Affairs hospital, help out with veterans fundraisers, or write a thank you letter to someone in the military. There are also plenty of fun Veteran Day games and activities you and your friends could do. Better yet, you could go to your local library and read about veterans in one of the hundreds of books on the subject. We should all take part in this very important national holiday. And I hope that you're doing something special wherever you are in the United States for November 11th. All right, have a great day, friends. Bye-bye.